Have you ever had a conversation where you felt exhausted, confused, or deeply chilled without being able to explain why? Perhaps even within your own family, have you ever felt that someone's presence was empty or meaningless? Most of us assume that everyone who looks human has a soul, a sense of morality, a desire to grow, and the capacity to love. But what if this assumption is not only naive, but also dangerous? What if, despite being biologically human, there are individuals among us who lack the essence that gives meaning to our existence? This video addresses an unsettling yet essential truth. Some beings move among us without a soul. In this section, we will reveal 9 clear signs to help you identify them. This will enable you to protect your own soul, energy, and purpose. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the Mindful Sphere channel. Let's get started. 1. Emotional emptiness, the absence of genuine emotions. The first and most obvious sign of a soulless entity is a constant lack of genuine emotion. These individuals may mimic sadness, joy, or love, but their expressions are hollow. There is no warmth in their laughter or sincerity in their tears. When others experience deep beauty or pain, they remain emotionally unaffected. It's as if they're watching from behind a curtain. Beneath the surface, their emotional responses seem rehearsed. They repeat phrases they've heard from others or mimic what they think is expected of them. However, there is no inner resonance, no echo. They struggle to exist in emotionally intense environments. They often escape by distracting themselves or responding with uncomfortable reactions. They are not lacking in intelligence. What is missing is emotional authenticity, and that is why there is always something strange about them. 2. Lack of true empathy. Inability to put yourself in someone else's shoes. A person with a soul feels with others. A soulless being cannot feel. They may say the right words, but the energy behind those words is flat and lifeless. You may hear them say, "I'm so sorry to hear that," but you feel nothing behind it. This disconnect becomes especially apparent during times of crisis, loss, illness, or sensitivity. Instead of responding with compassion, they withdraw or display obvious indifference. Sometimes they even seem to derive a subtle satisfaction from others' pain. Their inability to resonate with emotional reality reveals something deeper. Without empathy, morality becomes more of a strategy than a belief. 3. Inability to reflect, avoiding internal inquiry. Self-reflection is one of the defining characteristics of the soul. Those with a soul ask difficult questions. Why did I do that? Could I have acted with more love? However, those without a soul completely avoid these internal confrontations. Even gentle feedback can trigger a defensive response. Their stories never change. They are always the victim, always right, always correct. Devoid of a stable inner core, they lack the structure to process emotional or moral growth. Their egos protect an inner void that terrifies them to confront. The soul grows with truth, the soulless reject it. 4. Pathological manipulation, the shadow of control. For the soulless, manipulation is not a tool, but their native language. They deceive not only for personal gain, but to maintain control, hide their own emptiness, or even feed off the weaknesses of others. Interactions with them often feel like a subtle performance. They use half-truths, emotional bait, or charm as weapons. This manipulation may seem harmless at first, until you realize your boundaries are slowly being eroded. Their emotional radar is tuned not to connect, but to exploit. They don't form bonds, they calculate, and the longer you stay entangled with them, the more clarity you lose about yourself. 5. Transactional relationships, exchange-based bonds. Soulless beings don't form relationships, they make transactions. They stay close as long as you provide them with energy, admiration, or benefits. When you stop serving their needs, they'll discard you without a second thought. These dynamics often begin with intense love or connection and can feel like love. However, over time, warmth is replaced by control and detachment. Your value becomes conditional. You are measured not by who you are, but by what you give. These are not just dysfunctional bonds, they are spiritual voids disguised as relationships. Before continuing, if you think this video has helped you see things more clearly, consider sharing it with someone who might need it. And if you'd like to support thoughtful content like this, you can click the thank you button below. Your support really makes a difference. Let's continue. 6. Discomfort with silence and stillness, an internal noise. Silence is where the soul speaks, but those without a soul cannot sit in silence. Silence makes it impossible for them to ignore their emptiness. They compulsively fill every void with noise, distractions, or superficial conversations. When invited into a calm, present space, they feel uncomfortable. They may change the subject, make nervous jokes, or check their phones. Silence is a mirror, and they cannot bear to face what it reflects. Their deep discomfort with silence reveals the absence of a spiritual foundation, an inner emptiness they can never escape. 7. Change in identity and beliefs, a constantly changing mask. Spiritual growth brings consistency. The soulless, on the other hand, constantly change their values, language, and allegiances. This is not because they evolve, but because they adapt to manipulate. They wear roles like clothes, one day spiritual, the next cynical. One group praises them for their insight, another for their ambition. But beneath it all, there is no fixed self, only a rotating mask. Without a soul, identity is not a story, but a tool for social advantage. 8. Absence of remorse, loss of internal accountability. People with a soul feel it when they hurt others. They stop, think, and try to make amends. Those without a soul do not. Their first instinct is to blame or belittle others. If they apologize, it is cold, mechanical, even performative. Their apologies lack emotional weight because there is no internal acceptance. They feel bad not because of the pain they caused, but because of the discomfort of being caught. And this is what makes this deficiency so frightening: the complete absence of internal accountability. 9. Empty eyes. The window to the soul is closed. One of the most disturbing signs is what you see, or don't see, in their eyes. The eyes are said to be the windows to the soul, but in soulless people, that window is closed. Their gaze is empty. There is no warmth, no light, no presence. Even in moments of laughter or intensity, something is missing. Many describe it as a subtle coldness, as if no one is really looking back. And this feeling, silent yet unmistakable, may be your deepest confirmation. You are not imagining the emptiness. You are sensing it. Recognizing these signs is not about fear. It is about awareness. Not everyone who causes harm is soulless, but some truly lack the inner architecture that connects them to conscience, love, or transcendence. To protect yourself, turn inward to your own soul. Ground your energy every day. Meditate, walk in nature, breathe in silence. If someone's words don't align with their energy, trust the energy. If silence feels more honest than words, trust the silence. If this video resonated with you, leave a comment below and share your experiences. Have you encountered someone who fits these patterns? What helped you recognize them? Your insight could help someone else. Subscribe to the Mindful Sphere channel to continue your journey toward deeper spiritual awareness and a soul-filled life. Share this message with someone seeking clarity, and remember, your soul is sacred. Protect it, nurture it, and let it shine.